Hey everybody, welcome to the Prep Life Podcast. This is your founder and CEO of Glam Girl Bikini, Amy Enger. And today I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Leemarie Hosstetter. Love your t-shirt. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that she has the Prep Life Podcast gear and
Hmm.
merch. So
Love it.
yeah, so you came up with this topic today. So I'm gonna have you intro it just because I think you know, it's been playing heavy on your heart. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, dive in.
Yeah, so I have been hearing these keywords so much lately. It is such a trend right now, and it is food noise. And I think it's just another way of saying cravings, thinking about food. And generally, for the Gen Pop in fitness, it is definitely something that we need to have education on and tips and tricks to handle if you are trying to lose weight. But in the prep life, I just felt like it is something that we also need to deal with because, like you pointed out before we even started recording, Amy, when you are in prep, there is a level of food noise and cravings that is just unavoidable. But we need to come into prep, with eyes wide open, knowing what to expect. Healthy expectations are huge when it comes to prep, and having the education and being armed with all the tips and tricks to handle food noise and cravings. So
Yeah.
part of being in prep is just dealing with hunger. And that's a whole
Yes.
other, optimizing fuel for energy when you're trying to get super, super lean is a whole nother topic. But then on top of that, when you're stuck eating the same kind of plain foods just to fill you up in prep, dealing with food noise is just a whole nother level. So we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just define it first. So food noise refers to the persistent, intrusive thoughts about food that often occur even when you're not physically hungry. So it can include cravings or urges to eat specific foods, especially highly palatable and instant reward foods like sugar, salt, fat, usually like a combination of those three. Um, Mental distraction by food related thoughts throughout the day, compulsive or emotional eating triggers, and then planning, fantasizing, or obsessing over meals and snacks. And if you're a competitor who has done a prep before, I know that last one really probably rings a bell. So it's not a clinical diagnosis, but it is commonly used in discussions around obesity, binge eating, disordered eating, and metabolic health. And that last one is super important for us as competitors to be aware of our metabolic health. And so some experts describe food noise as being driven by hormonal imbalances like ghrelin and leptin, emotional factors, or even food addiction pathways in the brain. So the dopamine reward systems.
Yeah, so I think it's important to kind of identify hedonic eating and the difference between that and a homeostatic hunger. So your true physical hunger. Hedonic eating is basically you're eating for pleasure. It's not really a physical need, an energy need. It is driven by that brain's reward system. And you're just looking for that release of dopamine so that you get those feel good chemicals. And it's also, it's often triggered by those palatable foods that are, rich in sugar, rich in fat, and things like that. Basically, those obesogenic foods that have high fat and carbs in them. And some of the responses to, using this soothing mechanism are induced by like our emotions or our stress. Sometimes we're bored. These are all things, emotionally, like even if you have like different cues, like food smells, or food ads, or you're watching the Food Network. So you're visually getting stimulated, not just uh, mentally or whatever it is. Whereas homeostatic hunger is that true physical hunger. So this is going to be one that's not like instantly coming on. It's something that builds gradually over a time period. It can be satisfied with things like, things that are food. It doesn't necessarily have to be exciting, but like a chicken breast. I think you put some notes in here about the plain chicken
Yeah.
breast test.
Like
Like
in
if you're
breast
actually
test.
hungry for a plain chicken
Mhm.
breast, then you're probably truly hungry.
Mhm.
But anyway, you're gonna feel like stomach growling. You're going to feel low energy. You're gonna feel maybe like a slight headache, dizziness, like that low blood sugar drop. Um, and it's gonna stop when you're actually full. Your body's going to have that real sign, and it's going to happen maybe every couple of hours. Usually it's part of a routine. So,
And I think you can get these mixed up too, especially if you're not really aware with the signs, which is why like doing the plain chicken breast test is a really good one because I
yeah,
think a lot of us, when we do, if we are, especially if we drink a lot of caffeine or we're really busy, if we ignore those true hunger signals, it can build to a point where we just need food now. And we might actually need fuel, but if we're not aware of how to get that fuel in us fast, which if you're not, like, go back and listen to some of our episodes on convenience food and how to eat healthy, how to grab healthy like fast food and stuff like that, because sometimes you think, well, I just always just go grab a burger. Well, you might actually need protein and carbs and you just don't have time at that point or don't want to go cook. But if somebody just brought you a chicken breast, you devour that thing because you're actually hungry.
yeah, yeah. So, do we want to talk about just some ways that some strategies, that you can put into play as a prep lifer to kind of turn off the food noise, especially when you're deep into prep, you're in those final stages. It can be very challenging. So there's some physical things that you can do and also some mental things, and we'll kind of share those tips and just piggyback off back and forth.
I love it. I love it. So
Okay.
tip number one is to reframe the cravings. This is huge. This is a mental one. So see cravings as signs that your body is responding to prep. You are doing hard things that most people can't do. You have to be very mentally strong to go through a bikini prep. So another tip is remind yourself, and this works in prep or in lifestyle anyways, if you're having a craving, remind yourself this isn't forever, it's just for now. You will not always be on a prep diet. There will be a time when you can have that food. And I think a lot of the times cravings are FOMO, like I will never be able to have this kind of thing, but you will. You just can't right now.
Yeah. I think we're in a society that instant gratification is so just out there all the time. And I think if we delay our gratification and we don't put any foods on a pedestal, or, we allow ourselves to have, things in moderation and stuff like that, I think we can be set up for a much better mentality when it comes to that. So another thing that will help us just physiologically, so physical part of it is a structured meal timing. And so I warn competitors to not get too robotic with it, but when you're in the grind of prep and you are very close to a show, it's probably important. This is more important, like those hard and fast rules of, you know, I never give anybody like, oh, you have to eat every 2 hours, you have to eat every 3 hours. But when your budget is smaller, it's really important to kind of spread those meal timings out, kind of stick to a routine for your eating schedule, just so that you have like less guesswork, less mental chatter. Like, okay, my next meal is coming at this break. You're going to space your meals. You're not going to have as many hunger spikes. I think once you're deeper into prep, you can go, 4 to 6 hours maybe without eating a meal because your meals are bigger. So, not to say that any certain number is like the right number, but I just noticed for myself, like when I'm in prep, I definitely have to have about 6 meals or like, I mean, guess some of those are more like snacks, but
Mhm.
um, then when I get deeper in, I can dwindle it down to 5, like once I get in the improvement season or like
Yeah.
4, and I can space them out a little bit, less. But I think just getting volume foods in there, low calorie veggies, and just really stretch your meals with, have some konjac noodles, whatever it is, like whatever gives you like a really big plate for not very many calories.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big thing is energy too. When we're deep in prep and food gives us energy, having little like almost snack meals 6 times a day, it just helps maintain that consistent energy. even though we might
Hmm.
not be filling up every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so number three is to stay busy. So boredom can equal cravings. Fill your downtime with non-food related activities. So walks, if you are in prep, you probably have a step goal. Walks are great. Stretching, journaling, errands, or even a prep related task like suit practice or posing. So, put on your suit, run through your posing routine, do some stretches, do some vacuums, get your cardio in. Most of us in prep have to schedule our whole entire day just to fit everything in. So staying busy is not really a problem, but to reframe it as something that actually helps you not crave things is, I think, a really helpful tip for being in prep.
Yeah, I don't know what my problem is in prep, but I feel like I spend way too much money. And I've heard Laura Leach Pato say this too. She's like, I start shopping on like Amazon and I
Yeah.
don't know.
You got hit dopamine that you can't get from food.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, number
You
four.
find ways to find that hit and dopamine in other ways.
Yeah. Just don't spend all of your money. Trust me. Number four, limit exposure to food triggers. So just mute any pages that you may be following, on your For You page. If a lot of food things are popping up, then that probably means you've been either scrolling or looking for recipes and things like that. When you're close to the competition, it's not a good time to start thinking about those things. It's just going to make you ruminate. I think that, any sort of food pages or any sort of like food channel and all that, like it kind of you need to purge that out of your life a little bit so that you're not so focused on food and whatever your mind is thinking about, it's going to continue to keep drawing energy towards that. So if you kind of block those things out, mute those different people, that it out of sight, out of mind. I mean, there really is power to that. And I think your mind is very powerful. Whatever you focus on, that's what's going to happen. So I think, with social gatherings, you can be kind of selective about what you choose to do. Maybe prompt your friends to do something that's like more physical. You don't want to miss out on getting together with people, but if something's like super food focused and it's just like grazing around like an area, like it's gonna drain your mental willpower. So I would just say, that sounds really fun, but maybe we can take a rain check and we can do something else together that's you know whatever XYZ fun
Mhm.
activity that's more like active. So it's going to take your mind off of food versus pull your mind towards it
Mhm.
socially.
I love that. Okay, so number five is talk back to the food voice. So give the food noise a persona, literally tell it you are not in charge. I like to talk to my brain and I really just like to almost like reassure myself, hey, it's okay. I understand that you want this and I understand why, but this is why I can't have it. You can counter with affirmations. I think a huge part of being successful in a prep is how you see things in your perspective, being thankful that you have the ability to prep, knowing things like I chose this goal. I am so proud of myself for doing this. You chose to be in prep knowing it's really hard. We do really hard things daily by choice. Like we literally go in the gym choosing to put our bodies into very uncomfortable places and even inflict pain on our muscles because it's going to bring us to our goal. So
Yeah.
every choice brings me closer to stage. When I'm hungry in prep, I literally tell myself my body is feeding on my fat right now. Like that's
Yes.
the more hungry I am, like this, it gets me excited because I know a weight drop is coming. And
Yeah.
in prep, that is the goal. And I know that later on that will not be the goal. So we really need to keep that the mental game strong. But I think putting things in a positive light is huge.
This is something that my therapist shared with me as a coping mechanism to reducing anxiety. It's called like a disruptor. And
Mhm.
so whenever you find yourself like ruminating or thinking and worrying about a thought or whatever it is, so in this case, obviously, we're thinking about food and kind of ruminating on that, doing something that's almost like even just funny, like stop it, like, and you're saying it to your head, like
Yeah.
just it kind of like gives that like record skip and moves you forward to the next thing. And I don't know, it's been helpful to me in
That's
different
really, I've actually
scenarios.
done that. I've done that, like looked in the mirror and just been like,
Uh-huh.
stop it.
Yeah.
But that works also if you're struggling with just like thoughts, any negative thoughts in general, body image thoughts, things like that,
Mhm.
failure, being afraid of failing in prep, things like that. Just say it out loud. Just stop it.
Yeah. And I mean, she even said that you can use like different random words. She was giving me an example of one of her clients like saying the B word and being like, "B, please,"
Yep,
or
yep.
whatever, or just being like watermelon, like something random,
Uh-huh.
just to kind of like pull your brain
Take
out of
yourself
that
out. Yes.
like repetitive
Mhm.
cycle.
I love
So six is hydrate smart. I just think there are so many times that, um,
it.
you know,
Mhm.
these last couple of nights, I don't know why I've just been more hungry and it makes me pee a lot at night, but I definitely stayed on my diet because I'll make all these different beverages at night just to like, because I think I have a little bit of an oral fixation where I just need something like coming to my mouth. And if it's water, like sparkling water, like we're drinking right now, I don't know if you're just drinking sparkling, but
Mine's
um,
got lemon in it. A splash of lemon. I love it.
there you go. So I think just a lot of times hunger is masked by dehydration for one thing. So you're combating that if you make sure that you're drinking a lot of water, but it also just helps keep your stomach full. Like I'll make these faux margaritas at night where I salt rim and I use those like lime, and I mean it's not a margarita at all. It's um just like Mio's and lime, and
Uh-huh.
then it just like feels like I'm having something bougie. I don't know.
Mhm.
But in the winter I'll do like tea or decaf coffee. I still do decaf coffee now, but it just helps me kind of get through those moments, and it's just enough time to like fill my stomach and slow myself down that I'm like, okay, I'm not really actually hungry, but I probably just needed that 20 minutes to like recognize that I was actually full for my last meal. So I'll like top it off with a decaf or something.
I love that. Okay, so number 7 is visual reminders. So keep a picture of your show suit, a past physique, like a show physique or inspiration, front and center. So on your phone when you open it up, or on your mirror in the bathroom, so you can look at it in the morning. I love. I mean, you can definitely put up someone else that you like, Miss Olympia or something like that, if you want. I love putting up pictures of myself if you've done another or if you've done a show in the past, having pictures of myself on stage, because it not only makes me proud of what I've done, it reassures me that I've done it before, I can do it again, and it also motivates me because I know that's what I need to beat. And
Yes.
that's the whole goal of
I
bodybuilding
love that.
above everything else, is to just improve every prep. That should be the goal with
Yeah.
anything you do, is to just self-improvement, because that's really the only thing that's in our control. And it's the thing that brings us the most fulfillment. I mean, yes, you can win, but if you won just because nobody else was good enough, or you were the only one in your category and you didn't really improve, like, does that really feel like a win? So I love having pictures of myself to remind me, and then also review your why daily. So prep is more mental than physical. It is all a mind game. So why are you doing this? How are you going to be proud of yourself when you reach this goal? What have you done in the past to like reassure yourself that you can do it again? Write it down and review it so
Hmm.
often.
Yeah. I have mine on my screensaver of my phone, just my next goal. It's like the poster of what I'm going to do next. And it helps me to just keep it in the back of my mind, like, okay, that's coming up in this many weeks. So
I feel like you're
gotta.
the queen of keeping secrets. You want to show us your phone screen?
It's not on lock right now.
No.
Otherwise, I would.
Oh, God.
Um, okay, so our last and final tip is don't romanticize off-plan food. I
Mhm.
cannot stress this one enough because
Mhm.
I have totally been that girl that has like saved every single type of bar that I want to have after the show and every single kind of cookie and like literally a suitcase full bringing it to the show. And I will tell you, every single one of those things, with whatever your intention is, every single one of them got eaten every single time. So I think it's just, doing a laundry list, I don't think is actually a good,
Mhm.
I don't think it's good. I think your brain, it it's not gonna help it. So personally, I don't make a list, a cravings list myself. I don't want to do that. And this has been my best reverse, which I have, I've done 36 shows, and I will tell you that every single one of them has not been good. My reverse, post show has been the worst. But because I think what made this one my best and what I'm very proud of is like, I think when I went after the show, it was more about just eating maybe a little bit more of the foods that I was still like eating before, or I didn't really introduce, I still haven't really introduced sugar, even like on my birthday when I was post show, like months and months. And I think that makes a really big difference for how your cravings get handled after a show. There's something about getting exposed to that sugar, for me anyways, that my willpower just cannot handle it. I don't know. Um, so yeah, I've kind of taken a play out of your book because I know you are really good at reverses, and
Mhm.
you'll just have more of like the healthy prep foods, or and yeah, here and there I'll go to restaurants and things, but I'll just make it a planned thing, and I'll try to pick something that's like relatively, I won't track it, but like I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna get a grilled chicken breast on a
Mhm.
salad, like nothing too crazy, but pretty clean, I guess. And I hate to use that word, but I think it's really helped. And I just think anytime you're more worried about what's going to happen after the show, the restaurants that you're going to go to, the friends that are going to take you out to the meals, and the more you have that all planned after the show, the more set up for a failure you're going to be. So, just think of it as like you're kind of just, I mean, as much as it sucks, you're kind of like extending your prep for several months after, just because your body just really can't handle it. And I know it's taken me a long time to figure that out,
Mhm.
since 2011, but I'm
Mhm.
here and you can do it too.
Oh, yeah, I would just say if you're so many of my clients that want to go into a prep want to reach that physique, and then they know they can't stay there. Like they know in their head they can't stay that lean, but they basically want to maintain a pretty fit, trim, lean physique year round afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to say to you guys is that's a great goal. It's a great goal.
Yeah.
Prep is not what's going to get you to that goal. Your reverse diet is going to get you to that goal. Your reverse
Yes.
diet is way more important than prep. Prep gets you lean
Yeah.
on stage. Your reverse diet gets you sustainably lean for life. So if you treat
Right.
that reverse diet as almost more important than prep,
Mm-hmm.
and put off having those foods that you're craving, and don't make the lists and don't idolize them, don't put them on the pedestal, put it off. Allow your body to get back to normal maintenance before
Mm-hmm.
you start,
Introduce.
incorporating a treat here and there, a day out,
Yes.
night out here and there. Get back to normal. Be at a place where you can maintain before you start doing those things is so important.
To your point, I think you bring up a great point, and it's taken me forever to learn this. It's like the prep actually, like getting that lean actually primes you up for not like being super fit, because it's making it so hard. Your ghrelin's so high, your leptin's so low because your body fat's so low. It's priming your whole body to just want to pack on body fat. And um yeah, it's just, I mean, I've made those mistakes. And so, that's why I kind of started this podcast, is just I wanted people to learn from my mistakes. And it's taken me a long time to learn that lesson. But I will tell you, coming out on the other side of a good reverse, I've never felt better about and more confident. And I felt so confident for months and months. And my calories have been going up like every time. And it was like, I mean, I've never been like on 2000 calories, like maintaining my body weight. And that's only because like I actually stuck with things and I didn't go straight into the 2000 calories or 3000 or 4000, whatever it was. But, anyways, I digress.
I love it.
So, okay. Do we want to go over the affirmations, the prep affirmations that we came up with and kind of close it out here? Or,
Yeah, I
okay.
love that. Okay, so I did actually want to mention too, because I had a listener question, and
Okay.
I think like a lot of people, I think this is going to be a question that a lot of people have had about this. And so she was just asking in general, how to disconnect from thinking about food. And I think all of these tips that we've given will give you ammunition. And it's kind of like whichever one grabs you, take and pick which one you want. But
Hmm.
if you are working on the basics of meal timing, if you are focusing on your protein, if you are doing all these things, but you're still every once in a while being triggered and having like a binge episode, or having a craving that you just go for, or giving in or something like that, spiraling mentally, anything like that, try these prep affirmations, try the food noise blocker affirmations that we're going to talk about. Anytime you can stop and breathe and just think about it for a sec, practice some gratefulness, some thankfulness. Anytime you can take a step back and cause some time to go on rather than a frantic, I need this right now, it's usually going to help. So some of these affirmations are: I am stronger than a craving.
I don't need it. I want to win more. I always say nothing tastes as good as a pro card. That's my quote.
This is fuel, not entertainment. So find something else to do with your hands, some other fixation.
Yes. Every meal I put in my body is a vote for the body that I'm building.
Discomfort is a part of leveling up. Hunger means your body is feeding on that body fat.
Yes. And just saying things like, I'm proud of the discipline that I've built and giving yourself kudos for what you're doing.
Mhm. This craving will pass, my results will stay.
I like that one a lot. I've made it this far. I don't want to fold now. You've got this. All right. So take these if you want. Just bring your mind to gratitude, celebrating every day. Every day you accomplish is another day that you're voting towards the goal that you want. So your actions are all going to stack up, whether those are positive or negative.
Mhm.
All of those are a vote for who you want to be tomorrow. So keep in mind that every action will lead you in the direction that your future self will be. So make sure you're voting for yourself in a way that you're going to be proud of and that you're going to feel like is something that gives you confidence and good energy and all that. So, with that, any thoughts before we close out?
No, I think it's great. Hey, if you guys want to do a follow-up episode on food noise, or if you have specific questions for us that we didn't address, or a specific scenario with a food craving, or you want us to healthify your food cravings, anything like that, leave us a comment if you're watching on YouTube, or send us a DM because we're on Instagram.
Yeah, Prep Life Podcast or Glam Girl Bikini. Feel free to tag us if you or feel it in your heart to give us a rating and review. It just helps other people that are interested in the same topics to find us. And if you're interested in coaching with Lee Marie or myself, you can go to glamgirlbikini.com and hit the get started button. Thanks for listening, guys.